It cannot see you at all. It has no eyes and no true brain to speak of. By any measure, it is almost nothing but legs and hunger, and yet it can find you across an entire field. It has been perfecting this hunt for 100 million years. Here on WildPlanetTV, the familiar stops being what it seems, so subscribe, because this tiny parasite is far stranger than you were told. It once drank from dinosaurs, and it may yet save lives. This is the tick, and it should not work this well. First, let us be clear about what a tick actually is. Despite everything, a tick is not an insect at all. It is an arachnid, a close cousin of spiders and scorpions. As an adult, it walks the world on 8 short legs. It belongs to a huge ancient group known as the arachnids. There are around 900 known species of ticks worldwide. They split into 2 great families, the hard and the soft. Hard ticks wear a tough shield across part of their back. Soft ticks are leathery, rounded, and wear no shield at all. Together, they have spread to every single continent on Earth. They even reach Antarctica, feeding on the seabirds nesting there. And every single one of them shares one absolute unbreakable rule. A tick can eat only one thing in its entire life, blood, and nothing else, from the first meal to the last. It is what scientists call an obligate parasite of blood. It will happily feed on mammals, birds, reptiles, and even amphibians.
Warm or cold-blooded, if it has blood, a tick will take it. To do that, it passes through a strange staged life. It hatches as a tiny larva with only 6 legs. It grows into a nymph, and finally into an adult. And at most stages, it must find blood to continue. But finding a host is where the real mystery begins. Because remember, the tick is hunting completely in the dark. Most ticks that matter to us have no eyes whatsoever. The very tick that spreads Lyme disease is entirely, utterly blind. And behind that blindness, there is barely a brain at all. A tick has no true brain like a mammal or a bird. Instead, all its nerves are fused into one tiny cluster. Scientists call this single fused knot of nerve tissue the synganglion. It is a control center smaller than a grain of sand. So how does a blind, near-mindless speck ever find you? The answer sits on the tips of its front legs. There it carries a remarkable structure called the Haller's organ. It is a tiny pit lined with specialized sensory hairs. Think of it as a nose built into its legs, and it is astonishingly, almost unfairly good at its single job. It detects the faint carbon dioxide in an animal's breath. It senses the body heat radiating from warm, living skin. It picks up moisture, ammonia, and the smell of sweat. It can even feel the faint vibrations of approaching footsteps. With this single organ, a whole invisible world suddenly appears. It maps out the breath, warmth, and scent of a passing host.
No eyes are needed when your legs can smell a heartbeat. But sensing a host is only half of the problem. A tick simply cannot fly, and it cannot jump either. So it has evolved one of nature's most patient strategies. That strategy has a name, and it is called questing. First, the tick climbs a stem of grass or a leaf. It anchors itself firmly in place with its 4 rear legs. Then it stretches its front legs out into open air. Those reaching legs carry the Haller's organ, tasting the wind. And now the tick simply waits, perfectly still, for hours. It waits for days, for weeks, sometimes for many months. A tick can survive a shocking amount of time without feeding. Some can wait more than a year for a meal. It hangs there, arms open, like a living, patient hook. The instant a host brushes past, it grabs and holds on. It does not leap onto you, and it does not attack. It only has to be in the right place at the right moment. This is also why one common fear is simply a myth. Ticks do not drop from tall trees onto your head. They cannot climb high and aim because they cannot see. They wait low on grass and shrubs near passing legs. Everything about the tick is built around waiting, not chasing. No speed, no eyes, no plan, just position and patience. It is one of the purest ambush strategies in all nature. It is a quiet masterpiece of doing almost nothing extremely well. If that patience amazes you, comment the word quest now.
Now imagine that the tick has finally caught its ride. What happens next is a genuine marvel of biological engineering. The tick does not simply bite and start to drink. First, it cuts a small opening in the outer skin. Then it drives in a mouthpart shaped like a harpoon. This structure, the hypostome, is covered in backward-facing barbs. Those barbs lock into the skin like a grappling hook. Once anchored, the tick is extremely difficult to pull free. Many hard ticks then add a second layer of security. They pour out a natural cement that sets around the mouth. This glue is so effective that engineers now study it closely. They hope to copy it as a powerful medical adhesive. But the true genius of the tick is hidden in its spit. A tick's saliva is a small pharmacy of clever chemicals. One group of compounds stops the blood from clotting shut. Another widens the vessels to keep the meal flowing freely. Others quietly calm and confuse the host's own immune defenses. And most cunning of all, the saliva contains a painkiller. It numbs the skin so the bite is never even felt. This is why a tick can feed on you unnoticed. A hard tick may stay attached and feeding for several days. As it drinks, its body swells to an astonishing size. It can grow to many times its original weight and volume. A flat, tiny speck becomes a swollen, rounded gray bead. All of it powered by that one single enormous meal. And that same saliva may turn out to be priceless.
For years, scientists have studied that saliva with real excitement. It is a library of molecules evolution spent ages perfecting. The blood-thinning compounds could inspire new anticoagulant drugs. Such drugs help prevent the clots behind strokes and heart attacks. The pain-numbing molecules hint at gentler, safer new anesthetics. And one discovery goes even further than all of that. A protein found in one tick's saliva is called amblyomin. In careful laboratory studies, it attacked certain cancer cells directly. It appeared to trigger those tumor cells to destroy themselves, all while leaving many healthy cells around them completely unharmed. This research is early, and it is far from a cure, but the sheer promise inside that one tiny droplet is remarkable. The very parasite we fear may help us to heal ourselves. Its cement could seal our wounds and mend our bones. Its saliva could thin our blood and ease our pain. A creature built to take blood may help us save it. But we cannot talk about ticks and ignore the danger. Because for all their wonder, ticks carry a real threat. Ticks are among the most important disease carriers on Earth. For spreading illness to humans, only mosquitoes rank above them. As a tick feeds, its saliva can flow into the wound, and with that saliva, it can pass on hidden passengers. Bacteria, viruses, and parasites can travel from tick to host. The most famous of all these illnesses is Lyme disease.
It is caused by bacteria carried by certain hard ticks. Caught early, it is usually very treatable with common antibiotics. Left too long, it can cause lasting and serious harm. And Lyme is only one name on a long list. Ticks spread many other fevers and infections around the world. This is why checking for ticks after walks truly matters. But one particular tick does something stranger than any infection. In parts of the world lives the Lone Star tick. Its bite can rewrite how your body reacts to food. After some bites, people suddenly become allergic to red meat. The saliva teaches the immune system to attack a sugar. That same sugar is found in beef, pork, and lamb, so a single bite can end a lifetime of eating meat. Hours after a burger, the reaction can become dangerous. One tiny bite and an entire diet must change forever. It is one of the strangest effects any parasite can cause, a blind speck of an animal rewiring human appetite itself. Few facts capture how powerful this little creature really is. If that surprised you, share this with someone who eats meat. And this power did not appear recently in the tick story. The tick is unimaginably older than almost anyone ever realizes. Its ancestors were feeding on blood a very long time ago. Ticks have existed for at least 100 million years. We know this from ticks preserved perfectly inside amber. Amber is fossilized tree resin that traps small creatures whole.
And one single amber fossil tells an almost unbelievable story. A tick was found gripping the feather of a dinosaur. That means ticks were quietly drinking from the dinosaurs themselves. While giant reptiles ruled the world, ticks were already feeding. They survived the great extinction that wiped those dinosaurs away. They outlasted the creatures whose blood once sustained them. Then they simply moved on to the animals that followed. Mammals, birds, and eventually us became the new hosts.
The tick did not need to change very much at all. Its ancient, minimal design was already almost perfect. No eyes, barely any brain, and yet endlessly, ruthlessly successful. That success forces one uncomfortable but fascinating question. In the wild, what is a tick actually good for? It is tempting to say the world would be better without them, but nature very rarely agrees with such simple human wishes. Even a parasite has a place inside the web of life. Ticks are food for a surprising number of other animals. Many birds hunt and eat them straight off the ground. Wild turkeys and guinea fowl gobble up ticks by the hundreds. On the plains, oxpeckers pick ticks from large grazing mammals. Certain ants, beetles, and spiders quietly prey on them too. Even tiny wasps hunt ticks to raise their own young, and some opossums groom away and swallow many they find. So ticks help feed a quiet, hidden layer of predators. They also sit within a much larger, delicate natural balance.
Parasites can keep the populations of their hosts in check. They quietly weed out the weakest and the sickest individuals. In this way, they can shape the health of whole herds. Parasites are now understood as part of a rich biodiversity. They have shaped the bodies and behavior of countless species. A world with no parasites would be a stranger place. None of this means you should welcome ticks onto you. They remain a genuine danger to carefully guard yourself against. But they are also ancient, intricate, and quietly, deeply essential. So what, in the end, is the tick truly for? It is proof that a hunter needs no eyes or brain. It finds you with a nose built into its legs. It waits with a patience that outlasts entire seasons. It carries a pharmacy that may one day heal us. And it has been going all this since the dinosaurs. It is a real danger and a genuine natural marvel at once. The next time you find one, respect what it truly is. Not a mistake of nature, but a masterpiece of doing less. And if a blind speck can hide this much, others can too. Our next creature wears a color that does not truly exist. A living jewel of green and gold that is secretly black. Next time, the emerald beetle, whose dazzling color is a lie. If this changed how you see the tick, subscribe and stay wild.